Hey everybody, welcome back to For Love of the Mouse. I am Bryson, I am back, and today I am doing a Disney Cruise Q&A for you.
We only need the two of us together. I need only you in this crazy world. 'Cause we got love. I need only you here with me.
Well, before we get going with this Disney Cruise Q&A, if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below, click that like button so that we know you liked our video, and click that bell icon so you're notified whenever we put out new videos. And there's going to be a ton of Disney Cruise content coming, so make sure you have the notifications on. Well, as some of you may know if you follow along with our blog and us on Instagram and Facebook, you know that we just got back from a 4-night Disney Cruise out of San Diego, which was awesome. But before we left, we put on our social medias asking for any questions people wanted us to come back from the cruise and answer for them. So after going through everybody's questions, there was a lot that were very similar. So your question might fall into one category that we already have on here. Crystal and I went through them and we came up with some of our top questions. Some of these answers are my opinion. Some of these answers are exactly how it is. But I made sure to look at all these questions, make sure I got answers, made sure I dove into what there was, what there wasn't still available on the cruise. Without further ado, let's just dive on in. So one of the questions we got asked was the pre-cruise testing line long? Everybody, whether you're vaccinated or not, you have to do a pre-cruise COVID test. So when you walk in the terminal in San Diego, if there's not another cruise, you just walk right in. There's this big bin right there full of all the testing kits. You grab one per person. You fill out this little sticker with your name, the date, they scan it. But we got there for first boarding group, so we were there right at 11 a.m. I think we got there like 10:55. So we did not have a wait. Like Crystal and I walked up, we walked right into this little tented area. They take you in there. The lady was amazing. She was really nice. She told us exactly what to do, step by step. It was so easy. You just take the nasal swab, barely put it in there. There you go. And let me tell you, I went and did a regular COVID test before we left Colorado to go on the cruise just because I was paranoid that I was going to be the one that somehow got it and set everybody back in our party. And the Disney Cruise COVID test, way, way better than the one I did here at home before we left. So it's not that hard. The line, like I said, not that long. And once we left, you can kind of see the line from the security area you go to as soon as you're done. And it didn't look that long because they have a lot of stations. I mean, there was like 20. So they could fit, each party goes into each one. Even our friends were in the one next to us. So not that bad. Even if there is a line, it seems like it moved really quick. So hopefully that answers that question. Question number 2, was it worth it with the altered character interactions? Now, I personally, I'm not one that goes up and like hugs the characters. I've always been one that like, I'll give Donald Duck a fist bump, like things like that. But I'm just there to take a cool picture, do a funny pose with you. That's all I'm there for. So yeah, it was worth it to me. I thought it was actually cooler just because it was a different perspective they took the pictures from, and I thought they came out really cool. So make sure you check out our Instagram because Crystal will be putting those up. They were different and they are distanced, but the way the cameraman did the angles, I thought it was really cool. Like I thought they did a really good job with it. They also added something they haven't had, which is magic shots, just like they do in the parks. So I mean, that was really cool to do just because up on the deck, it was something different to add to the experience and something was taken away. Because like Crystal, she loves hugging Mickey. She loves interacting with the characters. So I could see where like somebody who does that, it took away from them. But for me personally, in my opinion, I thought it was great. I still got to interact with the characters. We still made jokes. Chip and Dale and I did some flexing. No problem. I mean, I thought the interaction was awesome. So it's all up to you whether or not you think it is, but know that the interactions are socially distanced and you cannot go up and like hug Mickey or anything like that. So if that's important to you, that's something to take into consideration. But me personally, I loved it. Didn't take away anything for me. Had a great time. All right, question 3, we were asked a lot about how it works with getting kids onto a Disney cruise. Kids we took as being 12 and under because you have to have a negative test for them. So that's what I looked at it as. We were lucky enough. Our friends have a son who just turned 1. So he went with us. So we got to experience that through them. You can buy a test through Inspire Diagnostics, which is who Disney uses for all the tests. But you have to have a negative result 72 hours before the cruise. They actually are from San Diego. So they went and set up a test with a local clinic that they could get the test at to feel better themselves about getting the results in time, because that was something I know a lot of people like on our Facebook Disney Cruise group were kind of wondering, like, will I get the results in time? But I never heard anything about anyone not getting their results that sent it in the appropriate amount of time that Disney asked you to do. But they got theirs. Disney listed off exactly what kind of tests they needed to do, that the clinic had to do to be approved. It was no problem. They got that. You upload it to your profile that you have, and there it is. So you get them on the cruise. Then once they have that 72-hour negative test, it's just like uploading your vaccination card. You go through all the same processes, no big deal. Kids right on the cruise, and you're off having a great time. So question number 4 was more of like a general sense of what we got from the questions that were being asked, was that a lot of people feel overwhelmed, and us too. Like before we got on the cruise, totally felt overwhelmed about what documentations you need, things like that. So just to tell you our experience, it seems overwhelming just because it's more than you've had to do in the past. But if you think about it, it's really not that much. You still have to have your passport, and then you have to either have that negative test for the kids or your vaccination card if you're over 12. That's the only added step I saw, because they take care of everything for you. The test at the port, whether you have to get on a bus and go to another terminal because they're busy, or whether you do it right there in your terminal, they provide it for you. It's done right there. You just follow what they're doing in typical Disney fashion. They have it all set up. It's super seamless, super easy. Once you go through there, you go through the security line just like you would, and then you just sit and wait. And you get your email from Safe Passage that says you're clear to board, and you go get on the ship just like you normally would. No problem. It's not as overwhelming as it seems. So, I mean, really, my tip and trick is take a breath. Because I was super overwhelmed when I first started reading everything. Like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But it's really just comes down to, do you have your vaccination card? Do you have that negative test for your kids? Good. Keep it with your passport. You know, keep that negative test result on your phone, so if something didn't upload, you have it right there and you can show you, and they'll accept that. No problem. So that's my tip. Take a breath. It's not as bad as you think. Disney has it thought out just like they normally do, and you will get on the cruise ship if you follow everything they want. No problem. Enjoy your cruise. So lots of people ask us all the time with any of our trips, do I need travel insurance? And I go, this is another one. This is one that's personal opinion. It's all up to you. We have never done travel insurance on a Disney World trip or a Disneyland trip. We've just never done that. Mainly just because of how I book our trips with certain credit cards. We kind of have that built into the credit card I'm using. So that's why I don't do that on those trips. So with cruising, it's a little bit different to me, and I don't know why. But our first cruise, I did travel insurance. Our second cruise, I did not do travel insurance. And then this cruise, there was like 4 cruises that got canceled, as I'm sure many of you have had, that led up to this cruise. So I can't remember when we originally booked this cruise for 2020, for May of 2020, if we had it or not. But as things started getting canceled, I added it. Every time I booked a cruise, I just added it. I mean, it was like $120, I think, for Crystal and I. It's $100 and some. It wasn't crazy. And it like covered us. So I was just like, you know what? With everything getting canceled, why not? We did it. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. So that's a personal opinion, up to you. Do you need it? I don't know. I don't feel like we do. But again, this is a personal opinion. So if you feel you need travel insurance, get it. If it makes you feel at ease that if something happens and you have to cancel last minute, that money is insured and you're good, go right ahead and do it. No problem. This person asked, why is it that they're being told that you shouldn't fly in on the day of your cruise? So what is our opinion? What do we do? What do we think they should do? Well, recently, if you haven't been watching the news, there's been a lot of cancellations, a lot of delays. So even before all this, Crystal and I never wanted to have anything possibly happen. One, because we probably didn't have travel insurance. Goes back to that question. But we wanted to get there, be there a day early, make sure we're fine, everything's taken care of, no problem. So in our opinion, spending that extra money to get there a day early or even a couple days early on the hotel room that you need, no problem. I mean, I'd rather have that peace of mind, but that's us, and it's up to you and whether or not you can spring for that extra hotel room. But I don't recommend waiting until the day of to fly in, just because I mean, your flight, you're cutting it close. I mean, if your flight's delayed even an hour or two, that could mean whether or not you get on the ship. So I just recommend take the time, save the extra money if you can for your trip, and book it a couple days early, a day early at least. Get there, enjoy the port, enjoy where you are. If you're flying into Orlando, go hang out in Disney Springs for a night. Stay at one of the good neighbor hotels. If you can, if you have an annual pass like we do, go to the park, enjoy a day there, and then catch Disney transportation from wherever you're at to the port, or go to the airport and catch the shuttle from the airport. It's pretty easy and you get to enjoy a little extra Disney. So you heard me say earlier that you have to upload your vaccination card or your negative test result to your account. What I meant by that was Disney uses a program called Safe Passage. That's who handles all the verification for the vaccine cards, for the tests, everything with that. So this person wanted to know what's the process for Safe Passage, for setting that up. And I mean, it's super user friendly. The only thing with it is that every person in your party has to have their own account. So like Crystal and I, we were linked on our accounts, and it showed both of us if I got into my account. But we had to create her an account, upload her stuff, create me an account, upload my stuff. And then our reservation number, like I said, is tied together. So we were all shown right there on the account. Both of us says clear to sail right there on whichever account we're in, no problem. And if you have a child, 12 or under, you just add them to one of the adults' accounts. Like my buddy just added his son to his account, and that's where you saw him. So it's a super easy process. Took me maybe 10 minutes, if that, to do both Crystal and I's accounts and get our cards and everything uploaded. It's no problem at all. Super easy. Don't worry about Safe Passage. They've made it very user-friendly. So we got asked this numerous different ways. So this is kind of how we phrased the question. What were the biggest differences we saw on the cruises? I mean, obviously, there's the new processes you have to go through. There's the wearing of the masks inside unless you're eating or drinking. Character interactions are a little bit different. But also capacity is cut down right now. I don't know when that's going to change, but right now, I loved it. I thought it was so nice to just like walk around. There's about 1,000 people, we were told, that was on our cruise on the Wonder, which usually has about 4,000 people sailing at capacity, plus crew and everybody. But I mean, there was one morning that I was by myself in the atrium, and it was awesome. Like, I got to film whatever I wanted, take pictures with whatever I wanted. There was another morning that my buddy and his wife and their son and I, well, Crystal was at the gym, went to the atrium, and there was a bunch of characters there, and nobody was in line to take pictures. So we just jumped in, took all these pictures. That was when I did the Chippendale flexing picture. Like, it was cool. So to me, that was something that's different, that is an experience that I'll never experience once capacities start going up. I'll never experience that again. It was like when the parks reopened and we went, and it was kind of empty. It's eerie, but it's still cool. Like, it's an experience that I never would have thought I'd experience, and I'm glad I did. Restaurants, everybody's spaced out. That's different, but it's not anything crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's all the things that like we've talked about already with the distancing, the masks, the new precautions. I mean, that was what I saw that was different. They still had fireworks, the show, nighttime shows. There wasn't a pirate night. There was an informal pirate night. But like, we did a Halloween on the High Seas cruise, and like the Mickey's Masquerade Party was awesome. We still had a blast. I felt like I still got a different Disney cruise experience, but I felt like I still got a good Disney cruise experience. Even cabanas, they hand you the plate. You pick your food. Like, they take you down the line. They pick you tell them what you want. They put it on your plate, and then they hand you your plate when you're done. I love that. I hope they keep that. That was amazing. Like, that was great. So yeah, I mean, the whole like line of cabanas is not open. It's definitely a cut down menu you have to pick from at cabanas, but it's still cabanas. It's still good. The food in the restaurants was still just as good as it's ever been. I think the service we got on this trip was even better because everyone was so thankful that people were just back on the ships. And we were all like, everybody was just so thankful to be back on the ship, and everyone was so happy. And it was great to see everyone happy. Like, usually you see like one or two people arguing or upset about something. I didn't see that at all. Everyone seemed happy. Literally, probably the best service we've ever got was on this cruise. I met so many cast members that we followed them on social media. They followed us on social media because like they were awesome. We saw each other so much because there was such limited capacity. You just knew everybody. Like, you may not know their name, but you remember them, and it was awesome. So that's what I mean by it was an experience that I might never get again once they start raising capacities. Was there as many activities on the ship? This one, I will say no, there was definitely not. Now, this could be because we did first dining for the first time ever, and we've always done second dining, and it felt to us like the activities were geared more towards second dining because the activities were well into the night, like the activities we enjoy doing. I mean, there's still a good selection. I don't feel like there was as many movies playing, and there definitely wasn't as many trivias, but there's still enough to do. Like, there's still a lot to do, a lot to fill your schedule. But the first dining, like, we just got so tired after eating that, like, there was a lot. You'll see in the vlogs we have coming out, there's a lot of nights we just went to bed early. Like, we were tired because we ate, and it was good. And we just wanted to go to bed. No, there's probably not as many activities, but it's still fun. And there's still activities. There's still something for everyone. So a lot of people ask this, and I'm just going to be kind of quick and cut and dry with it, because not much more needs to be said. Did you feel safe? Yes. I felt 100% safe. I felt Disney did a phenomenal job in making sure that we all felt safe. And never once did anything seep into my mind different. It was a great time again, and I felt very safe. A lot of people asked if you need to download the Navigator app. Simple answer is yes, especially right now because that's how you read your menu. Download the Navigator app. It's really easy. Not everybody these days has a smartphone. I believe they had paper menus, a few if you needed them, but just download the Navigator app if you have a smartphone. I mean, everything's on there. It tells you where to go. You can favorite what you want to do. It's a really good app. Like, it's much better than it used to be. There's still some things they could work out, but it's a good app and it adds to the experience. Like, for instance, the new muster drill. You go and you scan a picture of your station where you're supposed to go so that Disney can verify you know where to go if something happens. And then at 4 o'clock, everywhere throughout the ship, every TV, everything stops and it plays the muster drill video. It is the best thing in the world. I mean, it was so easy. Please keep that. Keep that forever, because I hated waiting for everyone to get to our station before you could start the drill. It was always late. But this way, no matter where you are, you have to watch it. So it's perfect. Keep it, Disney, please. Please keep it. Download the Navigator app. Was embarkation confusing? No. Now, I've been on a Disney cruise, and I remember my first Disney cruise. It was super confusing. Nobody knew where to go. But we were also some of the last people on the ship. So that probably added to it. I didn't think it was confusing just because I had read so much and I had done all of our paperwork and everything beforehand that I knew what it was going to be like. I think Disney did a good enough job explaining what you were going to go do and what this part of the process was that it wasn't too confusing. I mean, literally there's a cast member as soon as you walk into the terminal telling you to grab a test kit from here. Then there's another cast member telling you to go into this station. You do your test, you walk out of there. There's a cast member telling you to head this way to security. You go through security, there was 6 cast members telling you where to go sit while you wait for your test results. Once you get your test results and they're negative, there's 5 cast members that tell you what station to go to do your check-in. You go to your check-in, there's another cast member. I mean, it just keeps going. There's always a cast member there to help you. So as long as you're looking for that, it's not confusing. Again, take a breath and enjoy your cruise. So there you have it. Those were the most asked questions when we asked for them about what you wanted to know about the new Disney cruise process, what it's like. I still thought the magic was there. I still loved it. There was fireworks, there was nighttime shows, there was great food, there was shows that were just as good as they've always been. There was character interactions. Was it the same? No. But like I've said many times, it was an experience that I'm glad I got to experience. And this is all my personal opinion. You have yours. If you're going on a Disney cruise, I hope you have just as much fun as we did on ours. I hope you don't gain as much weight as we probably did on ours. But the food's delicious, so it's inevitable that it's going to happen. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I answered some questions you might have had. If there's something that we didn't touch on, ask it down below and we'll try our best to give you our answer on that. But make sure you keep your eye out. We vlogged the whole cruise. We're going to get those probably edited starting this weekend, get those out. I wanted to get this Q&A video out first, just to get the cruise thing rolling and get a video on our channel so that you know the cruise vlogs are coming. So make sure you check those out. But most importantly, thank you all so much for stopping by. And for the love of the mouse, never forget that it all started with a mouse.
We only need